for joining today, man. I know it's a difficult time, so thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I want to know, man, why when did you guys decide to go into business? So as a rugby player, when did you decide you really want to go into business?
Yeah, I think personally, I've been quite fortunate enough and blessed enough to start playing rugby at a young age professionally while I was at school, and then I played with guys who played super rugby and learn a lot from them and how the industry works. So then I knew at some point in my career I need to go into something sustainable, and I was quite fortunate enough and to have Carl and Philip with me, and traveling the world and enjoying some nice flat white around the world, and eventually we fall in love with coffee, and we just came up with this idea: why don't we go in the coffee industry, because this is something we're passionate about and we love, and yeah, and then we went into the coffee industry, and for me personally, it's also about sustainability and stay relevant and really do what you love and enjoy, and that gives you satisfaction at the end of the day, and because also you don't also want to be one of the players who played at the highest level, and then doesn't make use of the opportunity or the platform that we really have now to really expand your knowledge. Once you retire, then you will sit maybe one day, hey, what if I did this? What if I don't do that? So me, it's not about me, it's about the next generation to make sure that they don't struggle the way I did. Just trying to lay a solid foundation for them so that they can build on that to make sure that they build their own empire. So that is the why I went into the business industry.
It's actually good
Partners,
that you explain it like that, because it's obviously it's unheard of in rugby and in sport, that because people see us as just rugby players. So Sia, so when obviously did you decide that, hey, I'm gonna break this barrier, I'm gonna break this chain? Because like I said, people just see us as guys that throw a rugby ball around, not a lot of brains, just going into this thing and play some ball. So when did you actually decide, listen, I'm gonna break this barrier, man, that keep us in this confined spaces?
Well, but I still don't think I'm clever enough. you know, there's not clever enough in this. It's just about trying to build something, or trying to start something rather and then build it, and learn and experience life in a different form. I feel like for myself, it was much successful, man. It was much successful. I always knew I was always unconventional, as we call it. I always did things differently, and I always thought differently. You know what I mean? And I think the fact that because rugby was not my first choice, so it kind of like bumped into me, like it kind of gave me the space of, there's other things that I can bring to life, to express myself fully. And Cecil touched on it as well. It's important to do stuff that you're really passionate about, that you love, because it's more of a self-expression type of thing. You're expressing yourself and giving much more of yourself to the world, apart from the rugby field. And for me, it is about entering a different sphere, because we all know that rugby is going to perish. And once you're at that stage, you wanna look at your life and be like, yo, I still have things, still going on for me and still, rolling on for me. So for me, it is about, firstly, sustainability, as Cecil called it, and secondly, about expression. Just expressing myself and giving more of myself out there to the world, because I understand that, I feel like, let me say it like that, I feel like, there's more to Seabelo Senatla than the rugby aspect. I feel like I can offer so much more, and that's why I started. And really much, I've always thought about it.
Especially with your fashion.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, that's unconventional. Like, I don't. But that's just me, man. That's just me. And I think, it's quite important for people to stay themselves as well. You know what I mean? When you're venturing into something like this, because obviously there's a lot of time and skin spent in the game. So you want to make sure that you're doing something that you love and something that you really enjoy. And not just starting it for the sake of starting it because you're going to go weary. When things get tough, you're just going to, let loose. So it's quite important to do something that you really enjoy.
Obviously, Jess, did you decide that you want to go into business before actually become the rugby player that you are today, or way before that? Did you actually think that if I get into like this type of spotlight, will it be better for my business, or did you actually had that idea before that?
Yeah, so Warrick, thanks again for the opportunity today. It's so nice to talk to you guys about this. It's something completely different. And this is making me excited, yeah. But I think what you said about people putting us as sportsmen in a box, I think that's very true what you said. I think I felt kind of that people look at you and they think, okay, here's this guy that can run on a rugby field. He does all these things, but he's absolutely stupid. He's got no business sense. He doesn't know how to deal with people. When I kind of wanted to change that. And then obviously I'd always wanted to get into business. I love working with people. I think the kind of the kick and the good feeling I get from playing rugby, I get from making sales as well. So, and that's been the exciting thing for me in business, So I think firstly, obviously, in rugby, we've got a lot of dead hours during our days where we kind of find ourselves, and I'm sure you guys are all putting those dead hours into your businesses now, and you're kind of making that dead time in your days, you're putting that into your businesses. I also think
I think these guys actually take naps in that time. But anyway,
I think another thing what Umsi said just now about credibility. I think us as players, you always find rugby players wanting to start businesses when they finished playing rugby, and unfortunately, when you're done playing rugby, the kids don't know who let's say a Jessi is anymore. They don't really care, The next guy on the block is kind of coming on, and he's the relevant thing. So I think as sportsmen now, we've got credibility to kind of start these businesses, and and we've got a following. So, and I don't think a lot of guys use that. And when they finish playing rugby, that's when they want to start these things. And unfortunately, it's a lot harder to do that. Obviously, some guys have got it right, but I think now, especially if I look at the brand I'm doing something in recovery that's involved with rugby. If I'm using Exalt after I've had a hard day of training and I'm recovering in it, I know it works for me, and people are believing that because on the weekend you're playing and you're using it, and it kind of just adds credibility to your brand. I mean, it's the same thing with like a product, like a supplement. I mean, if you see Warrick Gelant using a whey protein, you're going to think, hey, all the Warrick Gelant fans are going to buy that protein because you're using it. So there's a credibility, you know what I mean? They believe what you're telling them. And I think that's where we're all lucky now, is we're still playing and we've got that credibility behind our brands. Another thing I've seen is a lot of players always are asking for help for businessmen and things like this, and they always want guidance and they want things like this. But one thing I've learned since I've started a business, businessmen are a lot more willing to help because they've seen you make an effort to start actually doing something. They've seen you put pen to paper, and they've seen you making an effort and doing business launches and trying to get into meetings and meetings with let's say a disc game or something like that. So they will offer you a lot more genuine help instead of you just asking them random questions about things that actually never materialize. So those are kind of the lessons that I've learned so far. I've been really lucky to have an awesome partner in Yakas, obviously from the Bulls. He's extremely smart and he's got all the science behind it, but I'm passionate about the sales and working with people, and I think that's how we kind of complement each other, and it's been exciting. It's filled up those dead hours in my day, and it's become one of my passions.
And I think the nice thing is, like you said, it's because recovery is so vital for you, because you have to perform on the weekend, so you have to recover well, and so is it with you, Sia, with your why, and like it's a thing. So the why behind all of this is so important because it's something that we really love, man, and we can then actually put it into business. So which is nice. I mean, this is actually a perfect combo of the salt and the wine for the antioxidants. For me, obviously, Pepsi Max. And then from C, a nice cup of 18 coffee. So it's
most definitely.
It's really good for me, man, that we can do it, because like I said, this is something that's unheard of in rugby, man. And the fact that you guys do it is actually big motivation for us. And it's really actually a light for the next generation, and even for the guys who's playing now, because we realize that we can actually go into business with something that we really love, man. It's not just the fact that I have to make money because rugby will end
100%.
eventually. It's not about that. It's about something that you love, man, and then you can put all your love and your extra work in. Which leads me to my next question. Like, how do you guys manage this part now by playing rugby, family time, your own time, and your business time? Because obviously we know the routine of rugby. It's crazy, but so how do you guys manage that? How do you guys deal with it?
Yeah, well, that's a very, very, very difficult question to answer personally for me, because you know, the other us at the sevens, it's 8 till 5. You know, we hardly have that time. So our only that time we do get is on a Wednesday, and it's not really that you get an off day, but then you have to make sure use of that off day. You must make sure you make that hours productive as possible. But I'm quite fortunate enough to have good partners in Carl and Philip, because they're also quite busy. They've got more dead time than me, so I'm trying to do as much as possible where I can help, whether it's deliveries or something, or go pick up some stuff, you know. And but we do have meetings on a regular basis, on a weekly, to see where we are and how we want to go, and the quality. Are we still passionate about it? And really we are passionate about what we do, and it's difficult to distribute the time between family and business, but the family do understand that the business is also important to make sure that that I enjoy what I'm doing, and also can help them also put something on the table, you know, and also to make sure that my nieces can build their own legacy after that. But yeah, that is my little bit of words in a nutshell. Hopefully, you guys, it's much easier for you guys, because you guys just train from 8 to 11, and then for the rest of it, you guys are off, you know.
I just do it. I knew something like that was coming, man.
But it's true, though. But it's true. But it's true. But now we do have a lot of time now on our hands, and now we really like strategize and make sure that we approach a lot of businesses, you know, and trying to get into the retail business. But for us, it's all about quality, to make sure that we give the people quality coffee, and just trying to that they can taste our personality, you know, because our coffee it's like who we are, and how we how can I put this now? Translate our personalities, you know. So yeah, but now there's a lot of Zoom meetings and catching up. Are we still on par where we want to go? Because obviously there's a lot of uncertainty happening. But at least there's a plan in place. So once the lockdown is finished, and then we can implement the plan. If there's adjustments have to be made, and we made those as the adjustments on the go.
Obviously, Jess, there's obviously, I think the other thing is sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. You obviously won't be able to do everything smoothly and everything will work out. So there's sacrifices and there's challenges starting businesses. So how does that two go hand in hand actually?
Well, when you want to have something that's pretty worth something, you have to sacrifice. It doesn't matter what it is. So sacrifice goes hand in hand with you pursuing something, something that's really worth it, and something that's very dear to your heart. So that goes without saying. And if you can't do the one, you know, your thing is kind of like collapse. You have to sacrifice. You have to give off of your time, of your energy. You have to give off of everything. And the challenges will come with anything in life. You know, challenges will come, but those type of challenges only makes you stronger, not just you and your character, but it makes the business stronger as well. Because there's different challenges that challenges the business alone, and there's different challenges how you see it as a person managing the business. So different challenges will only make you guys stronger, and it's only for the better, I guess. You know, if everything there is challenges, the only thing is to overcome, to be quite honest. There are going to be challenges, but you should embrace it. That's how life is. You can't get a smooth life. A smooth life doesn't exist. You know, life moves in circles, and you know there's ups and downs all the time. So you just have to embrace it and keep on knocking on, because it is going to happen at some point. You just have to be ready for it and fight it, I guess.
Obviously, just on the way, like with this business now, you obviously realize that, hey, yes, maybe I missed out on this or I did that there. If you now maybe say, or obviously advice for the next guy who wants to do this, if you now should give yourself advice 4 or 5 years ago that you're actually gonna give now to the new guys, what will it be in terms of being a player and a businessman?
My big things, well, if I could go back, let's say 3 years ago, and if I could get things good, like you said again, would probably be number one, clear and good communication with your partner. Luckily, I've got great relationship with my partner, and we communicate really well. So we kind of we talk. When we do talk, we give each other like a checklist that we kind of need to do. What do you need to get done this week? What do I need to get done? There's clear communication, and we both know what our jobs are for the week. I think that's really important. Number one. Number two would probably be to get good systems in place. So luckily with us, we've got really good systems in place now, where our orders are, all are obviously go through the internet and through the online thing. They get processed to our stocks, where all our stock is at Loftus, and then they get sent out with a courier. So we've got all our systems in place that from the person ordering on their phone, it gets sent out through the courier service, and everything just gets processed. So we've got good systems in place, but that takes time, and it takes, like Sia and Cecil was saying, that it takes hiccups and there's teething problems. And the cool thing is, as a rugby player, I think that's a resilience we've got. That's a thing you learn from rugby. And I think that's a cool thing that transfers there, and why I encourage guys to rugby players and sportsmen to become businessmen, because we've got that resilience. You know, you can, when there's a knock, you can stand up and you can carry on, and you can do get onto the next job. So I think that's kind of what are the two most important things that I've learned from opening a business.
It's so powerful, man, because like you said, it gives you that resilience. And at the end of the day, you go into business hoping that you're going to be successful. You hope that everything will go smooth and everything will go as planned. You know, I want to sell so many bottles by this time, and I want to, you know, have a caffeine crash at this time, you know. But sometimes it doesn't go smooth, which is nice, man, because like I said, it transfers so in between. And so now going forward, how do you actually use this, especially this pandemic time now? How do you use this to be more creative, to actually think and invest that solid time that you have in your hands in your business? How do you do that now?
You all know that, you know, normal is not going to be normal anymore. That's one thing that's for sure. There's going to be a new norm, right? And the first thing is to kind of like accept that and trying to recreate or model your business to fit those times. I think the best time that we have now as businesses or people that love to create is now, because now you can pretty much work on your product, because obviously there's no reselling of the product. You can work on your product and try to make it as perfect as you want it to be, or as close to perfect as you want it to be. Obviously, so that when we get unlocked, man, and then things could be like, as the product at least could be at its maximum to how you want it to be. So for me, how I'm using this time is to try and, like, you know, evolutionize my product. Not much the liquid. The liquid is pretty good. I don't think I'll touch that. What I'm trying to do as a brand as well. So I'm trying to link those two up and trying to make sure that those are in relationship with each other and live together. So that's how I'm trying to spend this time, you know, trying to, you know, bring Glory closer to who Seabelo Senatla, the brand, is.
Anything new, obviously, with the orders now, people can't go to the stores. How do you adjust to that in terms of sales?
We can career now, man.
So basically, I've been pretty lucky where obviously you guys know Extreme Nutrition, one of the biggest supplement companies in the country. We're still trading through them, so we're still pushing quite a few orders through them, which is really nice. But we've also obviously gone in and had a look at our whole, like Seabelo was saying, at our brand in general. What can we improve? We've been looking at our competitors. So you've always got to know what the enemy is doing. You know, you've got to know what the enemy is. So we're having a look at what is making their products sell. What are they doing better than us, or what are we doing better than them? How can we improve? What can we give the customer more of what they want? How can we make it more relevant? We're looking at different ranges, different kind of products, things like that. So kind of just getting all our ducks in a row. So when obviously normal's not going to be normal again, but when shops do open and stuff like that, that we can kind of get those new products and the kind of best product that we can deliver to the customer. Obviously before the corona, we were in chats with big retailers, and these have obviously just died down a bit now with the whole pandemic and everything. So hopefully after that, those chats will get going again, and then we'll get back into those big retailers and things like that. But that's kind of where we are at now as a brand.
Cecil is quite lucky because his coffee is a sensor. So,
he's very lucky.
We're quite fortunate, that our coffee is essential. So now we can courier it and distribute to the people really enjoy our coffee, and I'm quite blessed and fortunate enough to have those two partners who's really is pulling most of the day weight. I must have to say thanks to them, because obviously I've been quite busy, and they have a lot of time. No, I wouldn't say a lot of time. They make a lot of time to make sure things are going as smoothly, because they also got some family and kids that they look after too. I have to say thanks to them. But yeah, obviously now we're sitting back and just rethinking about our brands and the way forward. And now me personally, I'm just trying to study the different kinds of beans and the taste and stuff like that, which is quite a very, very, very interesting. Learning a lot about the coffee industry, but you never also young to learn. But hopefully after this pandemic, because before the pandemic we were also in talks with big retail stores. So hopefully after this pandemic, everything will go back to church, and hopefully we can come up with a plan. But yeah, for now, mostly we're just trying to make sure that we're in line with where we want to go, and that our brand is still the way that we want it. And maybe we will do one of two changes now, maybe in the next 3 months, with the branding just coming a bit creative and simple and catchy, So so we're busy with that, and really working out on it. And once the pandemic is over, then we're gonna come out. I wouldn't say all guns blazing, but really going out there. And
that's right. You're gonna come out.
I wanna say guns blazing, but just being our utmost best. Be precise. In what we do, and very efficient. With one bullet, one kill mentality. That is what we're gonna do once we get back after this pandemic.
No, it's powerful, but obviously now sharing this knowledge with you guys actually makes me excited, because now I can go into business with you guys, because you guys can tell me now literally not to do this and do this. So it's gonna be smooth for me. No, but obviously,
But I think also you learn on the job, make mistakes and learn from that. And also in a business world, it's a different kind of lingo. It's quite interesting and tiring, because you're sitting with people who's been in the industry of business for about 30 years, 40 years, and then you only been in the business for about a year, 2 years, and the majority of your journey so far has been rugby. So now you've just been talking rugby. Now you're in a different meeting. Like, what is this people talking about? But
there's no C1, C3 there.
It's not about hitting up here, those same side, guy, that guy's back. There's nothing like that anymore. It's about figures now. It's about figures. So which is quite lack, and it's part of growth. But really looking forward to the next journey of my career. Exciting times here.
It's powerful, but it's interesting what you're saying now about the meetings you go to in New Year, another lingo, another chat, and you're like, yo, I'm at the right place now. What's happening here?
It's comfort zone, bro. It's also comfort zone. It's the first couple of meetings, I was sitting there, I was literally like sleeping open eyes, and I'm like, yeah. And then they were like after a defense session, and then I have to go to a meeting, and then after defense session, it's a struggle to stay awake. But luckily Kyle and Philip we always recap afterwards, and then I get a nice clarity, you know. But it's awesome times there.
Guys, may I ask a question, please? I think more towards socialization. I don't know how you guys feel, but also like being in business and being an entrepreneur, starting your own thing and running with your own thing. It kind of like, for me, it feels like it like gives me a break from thinking about rugby the whole time. So it kind of like refreshes my rugby per se, because it's something different that I'm focusing on, and it has nothing to do with rugby. So when I get to the rugby part, I'm quite refreshed, and I don't know if I'm making sense, but the fact that I'm not thinking about rugby the whole time and I get time to think about something else actually restores my energy for the rugby, which is an essential thing for us.
Yeah, and just if I can add on that, I think you're also being forced to use your brain, so you're being stimulated. You know what I mean? Like Cecil said, you're learning new things, you're learning new skills, you're growing, right? It's like I feel so stimulated, and like you said, I don't think about rugby at all. You're dealing with numbers, you're dealing with people. It's really exciting, bro, and like you said, it's made me a lot more refreshed when I come to the rugby part, and like I can give that my full attention, So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah. Now I have to go into business because I sometimes need that break, that mental break.
That's what I wanted. I was steering you towards that
direction.
Now I'm gonna come with his own shoe range.
Yes, please.
Maybe my own maximum drink or something. Boys, man, thank you for your time today, man. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I think we can really make a difference, and you guys actually showed it now what this series is about, man. It's about breaking the chains, it's about getting out of the circumstances, doing this thing, like you say. This is not something rugby players is supposed to do, man. And we guys are taking it. We're taking the next step to be an entrepreneur. So it's powerful, man. And thank you so much, because I've learned a lot now. And hopefully, if we can get this thing out to the people, more rugby players in the next generation can do this. And this was the whole purpose of this segment, is to show that we sifted the boundaries now. We broke the chains. So thank you so much, man.